Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. And our delightful guest today is Juliet Bellagambi. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did, Juliet
Ah,
Bellagambi.
awesome, super. And I'm going to attempt to welcome Juliet in her language, uh, which, and I can't pronounce the language. Langi, I guess, is close enough. But to say welcome, you say Apoyu Binu. Apoyu Binu. Did I do that okay?
Yes, you did. And I say, Ber Apoyo Matek. Thank you so much.
Ah,
Wow.
awesome. I love it. I love languages. So, well, listen,
Yes,
Juliet, go
and
ahead.
it's definitely beyond borders. You've just made me feel so. I like the title of your podcast,
Mm.
Beyond Borders, and I think kind of that you're greeting me in my language is just so kind of fits in really well with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, let me
Mm.
introduce you to folks. Let's introduce Juliet very briefly. She's a leader in the adult education sector with over 20 years of helping people achieve personal goals. It could be families, could be young people, could be adult learners. And she works part time in education and the other time as a consultant, where she delivers coaching in schools. I'm fascinated with that, Juliet. Mentoring and training on behalf of public funded bodies around confidence building, mindset and entering, returning into work and personal development short courses. And she's here representing the continent of Africa. You'll notice her headband and her dress and her earrings are even the continent of Africa. So I love Africa, and I'm just
I
thrilled.
love also Africa so much.
Yay!
Africa is always in my heart.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Interesting you should say that. So we're thrilled to have you here, Juliet. She was born and raised in Uganda in East
Mhm.
Africa and is currently based in London, England. And sounds like she's a global gal, though, from all the work that she does. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Juliet has to say. So, Juliet, tell us and tell our podcast viewers, um, what do you think your number one offering is to the world? What do you really offer people in the world?
Mm. Mm. I think my number one offering is and it's funny because this doesn't feature much in business, but for me, it's that notion of love, that notion of kindness, um, that notion of sort of, it's around love, kindness, really. Um, and that sort of features really a lot in my work. And what I mean by that is really being yourself. Others have used the word authenticity, but I think that is my offer. It's love, and love is really clear, and love is pure. And I think if you're working from a place of love, it's really about possibilities and abundance. So I find that features a lot in my work, whether I'm an educational leader or whether I'm working with young people that are, sort of going through difficulties. And I know that because of the engagement that I get. I know that because of the trust, because they find me so natural, another, almost like them, you know, almost like,
Yeah.
yeah, it really just feels that way. So I think that is what's unique about me. And I sense that in the relationships that I'm able to create, um, the relationships I'm able to effortlessly um, create actually. So that's kind of what I think about that.
That is
The
so
notion.
beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the world needs more love and more kindness. There's no
Mm,
question. So, give me an example of how you would help children in the
mm.
schools. How would you?
So for example, children in schools, when I'm working with adolescents, it's hard. It's really hard for them. They're growing up in you know, I grew up 30 years ago. They are growing up in today's age with rapid technology, with the more challenging sort of factors and experiences than we grew up. What I offer them is really a space to talk, um, a space for them to tell me about their family, a space for them to sort of talk about proverbs. Actually, that's how I approach it, in the sense that, you know what, I read this yesterday, or this is what I've been reading, what do you think about that? And they get really excited. So I don't approach it in the sense of how are your exams, how is the family, come and talk to me. There's a workshop that I'm doing, I'm here on a Tuesday in the morning, it's free, and let's just come and talk. And they say, oh, what are you going to tell us? I am not going to tell you anything. You're going to come and help me think about something. And so that is really their approach, coming from a place of curiosity and almost as though inviting them to help me sort of to think about something. Yeah,
Wow.
that's for adolescents, I find that really works well. Then they begin to open up. And when you're talking about proverbs, that are meaningful, it might make them feel really confident about themselves. They might be less critical about themselves. They might get other perspectives kind of about life. And then we start to then talk about the things that they want to create. What do they want to go to college? Do they want to go to work? And what about things at home? How are they going? So that is really my approach. And when I'm working in the classroom, of course, I know you're a teacher, you're a coach. I think we work towards specific objectives, but I try and create a lot of space, a lot of activities where it really facilitates and supports the person in the room to share their own thinking, and I think that's, I think it's really about giving people the space to be themselves.
Wow, that is a beautiful approach. Thank you for that. So, do you work with children in the UK or in your home country? Where do you work with children?
So because I came to Uganda as a teenager, I mean, in England, I came to study. So I haven't really worked professionally with people in my country. But what I do at the moment, I mentor a group of young adults from Sierra Leone. So I'm sort of leading and hosting a 3-month program. The leaders came to me with some challenges, but very, very, very clear outcomes about what they wanted to achieve. And it was around supporting them to change their mindset, supporting them to think positively about the future and what they want to create, and sort of supporting them to think that they will be future leaders and that they can, they can be innovative, they can work together, they can build communities, they can build networks that will support them to do that. So currently I work online with a group of young adults from Africa, and I'm looking to create something because of this experience, because it's been really successful. I am thinking of reaching out to my motherland, to my country, and sort of creating other programs so other young adults can for them to come and have this opportunity, which is really, really being open, thinking about yourself, thinking about what you want to achieve in a sort of group context where there's support, and from someone like me who's definitely going to show them a lot of love and sort of self-belief. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Would you do that on Zoom or some other online vehicle? So with the children in Sierra Leone, is it all done virtually like this?
Yes, currently it's done virtually. Yes, on Zoom.
I'm
and
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
And with Uganda, I would love to do it that way, and hopefully have opportunities where I can go maybe at the start or towards the end to sort of have a celebration as well. So currently it's on Zoom, and I'm really grateful that we have this technology to sort of work with others globally and influence, because I know that certainly in terms of, I only knew about self-development, personal development, the psychology when I came, and because I have a vested interest in that. But I think there's others that might not be aware, so to speak, or have the opportunity to be in a space where we are talking about self-development, we're talking about, personal agency. They might be thinking that this is my life, these are the outcomes, this is what I'm going to do, without thinking maybe outwardly and, about what else is possible, kind of challenge the
Yeah,
status quo,
exactly.
challenge the cultural perceptions, family perceptions. That's the sort of work I like to do as well.
Yeah. So you're
Mm.
basically helping these young people to see their future as being limitless, right? And
Isn't that beautiful? I am working on it myself, I am working on that myself as well. And I have to pinch myself. I have to pinch myself and catch myself sometimes, oh, why are you thinking that, Juliet? It doesn't exist. I have ideas and plans that I want to put in place, including sort of online course creations. And then sometimes I'll say, oh, that's too much. And then I have to really catch myself and sort of be really mindful of what I'm imposing on myself. So I am on that journey, and I'm helping them to sort of to kind of really be aware of that as well, and think about, these are cultural factors, but there's also what we impose on ourselves as well.
exactly. So Raj, put your hands up. Put your hands up, Raj. Okay, so Raj and I are also working on it. We put our hands
Yes.
up. We are also working on being limitless and being more loving and kind. And, I mean, no one's perfect, right?
Absolutely no one's perfect. We are all kind of developing, I guess it's about developing understanding so we can be more effective, so we can learn more about the world, so I can learn to do things a bit better, so I can help people a bit better, be more effective. I think that is what we're all trying to do and spread. I love Raj because he loves to spread joy and happiness and dancing. And that's what I love as well, and make sort of a positive impact, make somebody smile, make someone think that, yes, I can choose to, to do certain things that will make my life suddenly a bit lighter and spread joy.
Yeah.
Mm,
So,
mm.
on that same topic, I'm curious about how do you think? No, that's not the question. I'm trying to think of the question.
We can pause and we can go for next episode. What do you think?
Well, I was thinking I want to end with one question and then we'll go to the next segment if you don't mind.
I have
It's
one thing in my mind, if you allow me.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, when I met first time Juliet, so I was heard from her voice and heart. That was very, very painful. I don't know. She have on which person gone through this kind of very bitter experience. She said in the London bus, and the conductor or someone said, "You get out of the bus just because of you're black, so you are not allowed in this bus." So I want this story. It's very interesting and very, very learning, because like you, me, and anyone face in our young time. So now if our podcast will be listening young people, so they can learn and react these kind of, or handle these kind of situation easily, whatever pain she have gone through. I think, what do you think, Betska?
Well, yeah, I mean that we could it would have been great if I'd known the story and then we could have told it at the very beginning, but now is the right time. So, Juliet, were people discriminating against you on the bus? Telling you couldn't get on or what?
No. So what I did at the time, because I host something called Peto Talks, what I did was I was sharing a story that I think many people will know about, the story of Rosa Parks in America.
Yeah, Rosa, I love it.
Yes, and how she got onto the bus, But also what I was sharing is that it takes courage. We need to act courageously, but also that we need to prepare for that. And how did she prepare for that courage? By sort of knowing herself, by being an activist, by being amongst others who were of similar mind, by being very, very clear in her head that this was not right, so that she could be in a position where she could kind of stand courageously. And that's the story I like to tell people. It's not easy to stand courageously, so we need to prepare for that by like reading about the injustice, being amongst others, mentors, elders, people in the network, and being very, very clear such that when you stand up, you can act courageously. So it's
Right
about
on.
training ourselves to a moment. When she stood up on the bus, it wasn't just, I'm sure she had all the adrenaline, all the is it going to be a fight or freeze? But she stood up and it was really just being assertive, and it takes something for us to get to that point of really being assertive.
Well, Juliet, we're going to take a pause. We're going to take a pause, and we'll be right back to finish off with this story, because it's a wonderful story. We'll be right back for segment 2.
Okay.